Hi, I am Cesar Santos. Have you looked at your head? Understanding the head will allow us to represent it better when we attempt to draw it or paint it. I know artists want to stay out of the box, but let's try to keep our head in a box for a second. Let's assume that this box that the head fits in will be 8 inches tall, 8 inches deep, and 6 inches across. And for now, let's ignore the very important element of the neck supporting the mass of the head. If you try to start the drawing with the so-called egg shape, most likely you won't be precise, because what type of egg are we talking about? Are we talking about chicken eggs? And if you do, make sure the egg is upside down and the widest part of the egg represents the mass of the head just above the ears. The bony structure of the head is fixed, is immovable, except for the lower jaw, which articulates, allowing some of us to spend time chewing gum. This group of muscles and bones in the head create masses, and these masses become planes which catches the light and reveal the true character of the sitter. Remember that these planes are the top, the sides, and the front of each of those masses. For instance, the forehead can be divided into 3 planes, the front plane and the 2 sides. Then, below this point, under the eyes, a step further from the forehead, we have the 2 cheekbones narrowing in all the way to the chin. Remember, in between these 2 sections, we have the nose connecting with the front plane in the front and a triangular base at the bottom. If we look at our heads from the front, we can see that it can be divided into 3 equal parts. From the hairline to the eyebrow, from the eyebrow line to the bottom of the nose, and from there to the bottom of the chin. If we get the last portion and divide it in half, we'll find the lower part of the lower lip. When we start to draw the head, we try to simplify and look for things that are shared by all heads. For example, we all have 2 eyes. Well, maybe that's too obvious, but let's try to find things that are more subtle and still represent all heads. For example, from the front, we can see the front of the face and a little bit of the sides of the face, the ears, all the way to the mask. But if we turn around, the back of the mask of the head is so big that it covers the sides and the front. Animals have their eyes higher up and further back, keeping their heads in a more of a horizontal position, while we, grown-ups, humans, have our eyes in the middle of the head. I think that's why we keep hitting our head against the kitchen cabinets, because we forget we have this big mass of brain power. Our ears are located on the side planes of our heads, and the center is more or less about the middle from front to back. Also, in the bottom, it aligns with the bottom of the nose, and the top of the ear aligns with the eyes. If we think of our eyes and ears as the division from top to bottom of our heads, and we see this relative position the same in animals as in humans, we realize that the difference is that in humans we have a bigger upper mass holding our brain, while animals have a bigger bottom part because they use more their teeth and their jaws, while we use more of our brains. Well, sometimes we do. Animals normally have a lower sloping head, meaning less changes of planes, less variations, while humans have more of a projecting nose with a flat face and a highly developed chin. Animals would have their strongest feature a bit more exaggerated. Like the brain for the humans, the projecting nose of a wolf would say a lot about their keen sense of smell, while the large eyes and pointy nose of a squirrel reveals the skill to find a buried almond. As we draw the human head, we must look for and detect more than casually seeing. The power of detecting what you sense is what will set you apart as an artist. But remember, the bigger common elements that we all share must be realized first. If you want to see me in action and kind of demonstrating how I build a painting from start to finish, from the drawing stage all the way to the final layers of painting, you can hit the link below, because I will go over in detail explaining my thought process behind building a portrait. Okay, let's wrap this video up. Understanding the head is the first thing you should do. Don't forget about the blocky mass on top of you.